Hey everyone, thank you for watching. My name is Hunter here at Weather on the Go. We have a warming trend that is continuing to look promising in the long range here as we go into next week. And winter does not want to release its grip quite yet. As we go into early March, we have colder air and more winter storms on the table. We're going to be highlighting areas that could be impacted by the cold and the winter storms into early March in this forecast. So make sure if you are here to subscribe to the channel. We're only 702 subscribers away from 129,000. You want to help me get there, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and we got you covered with accurate, reliable weather forecasts here on Weather on the Go. Like the video, give it a thumbs up if you do enjoy it and you find it very informative, and share this video with friends, family, and on social media. I definitely do appreciate it. Now let's look at our temperatures here. Another day of a right step in the direction here of warmer temperatures, right? We're looking here at our temperature anomalies in the United States and southern Canada, and this Friday afternoon, notice we don't have a lot of pinks that we saw the past couple of afternoons, say on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday afternoon, these past couple of days. That's because the coldest of the air is behind us. Now, notice there still is some purple and there still is a little bit of pink here on the map, so we're not totally out of the woods from the colder air yet, but we're still seeing anomalies 20, 30 to even 35 degrees below normal for February 21st standard still. Looking here at the central United States in the heartland of the country, here's where we started off this Friday morning, a handful of degrees below zero for many of us across the Midwest and the northern plains. But looking here at our wind chills, not as cold as what we have been starting off with during our mornings this week, but still some, bitterly cold air, 10, 20, 25 degrees below zero. And this could still give you frostbite in less than 30 minutes time, especially if you don't bundle up with layers and if you don't cover exposed skin out there. Now looking here at the afternoon, the southwesterly winds will go to work, and they will go to work on our temperatures. We're going to be into the 20s and 30s now, finally above zero as we go into the afternoon here into the upper Midwest, the northern plains and the central plains, a little bit warmer down further to the south. Across the west, we started off a little bit milder here too compared to the last few mornings, especially into Montana, just a few degrees below zero with our air temperatures. And looking at our wind chills in eastern, northeastern Montana, starting off around 15, 20 degrees below zero, but still this is a right step in the direction of warmer air as we go into later on this week. And notice our afternoon highs here on Friday across portions of northeastern Montana into the 20s and 30s this afternoon. Further south, if you want warmer air, go to Phoenix, go to San Diego, Los Angeles, San Bernardino, California. These areas are going to be into the 60s and 70s this afternoon if you want some warmer air out west. How about out east? We have the temperatures out here that started off into the single digits and teens this morning, especially areas that have a denser snowpack on the ground. And our wind chills this morning across the east were just a handful of degrees below zero, especially notoriously across the Appalachian chain down there to the Smoky Mountains, and then the deeper snowpack areas of upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, even up into western Maine, western Massachusetts. Deeper snowpack up there. It makes sense that our wind chills will be a little bit below zero this morning. Heading into the afternoon, though, looking at more of those 20s, 30s, surging further to the north, 40s and 50s southeast United States, and notice the 60s, 70s. If you want warmer air in the east, you go to south central Florida, say Tampa Bay to Naples, all the way down to Miami, Key West. A lot of areas seeing warmer air down there. Deeper snowpack giving us temperatures more in the teens for highs across upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and western Maine. That will continue until we can melt some of that snowpack and improving our temperatures. Now let's look here at the precipitation going through your Friday, February 21st. We do have a little bit of precipitation down here in coastal Texas and South Texas. Also another storm system moving in across the Pacific Northwest, and these promise to bring at least light precipitation going into the afternoon. And we're going to keep an eye on some heavier rains up here towards Seattle as we go into this evening. Some of that could spread some snow into the higher elevations of northern Washington state over there into northern Idaho. That is as we go into your Saturday morning time frame, and we're going to keep an eye on some of the moisture levels over here towards Seattle. We could be giving us around an inch of rainfall in some localized areas, so isolated flash flooding may be a concern over there. But looking here at south central Texas, I do want to take note of the colder air. There's shallow cold air at the surface. We're a little bit warmer aloft, so that melts the snowflake from the cloud all the way down till just about the ground, and then it melts that snowflake to a raindrop, and then that raindrop falls falls to the surface of the earth and then refreezes on contact. That is freezing rain, and we definitely could have a little bit of that across south central Texas as we go into this evening, but more so overnight as our cold, shallow air near the surface continues to fester there. And areas along I-35 and west are most apt to seeing this down here towards San Antonio, maybe into the Waco region as far north as the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Now, we're not talking about a ton of ice. This is not an all-out ice storm, but there could be some slick areas with a couple hundredths of an inch of ice down here. So a very light glaze may be possible across south central Texas as we go into this evening, overnight, and into your Saturday morning commute. So just be mindful of that. If you're in San Antonio, Austin, even up there toward Waco, maybe even as far north as the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Now let's look at the weekend temperature anomalies, because notice the purples, pinks go away. So we're going to see milder temperatures returning out west, especially up here into the western provinces of Canada, into British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. Notice the colder air hanging out in the blues and greens, around 20 degrees below normal in the east, but hey, it's a step in the right direction. And looking at the precipitation going into the weekend here, we have a bigger storm system bringing a lot of hefty moisture across the Pacific Northwest on Saturday, especially Saturday night. This could bring more heavy rain from Seattle, this time southbound into Oregon, into Portland, Eugene, Medford, all the way down into Northern California. We also have some robust rain shower, thunderstorm activity, perhaps coastal Texas into Louisiana overnight. That'll carry over into Sunday. We have a little bit more of that moisture meeting up with some colder air in the higher elevations of Idaho, western Montana, western Wyoming. That could give us some heavier snowfall in the higher elevations of the Rockies. Otherwise, we're watching some heavier rains down here into the southern parishes of Louisiana as we go through the day on Sunday, and that leads all the way up into your Monday morning commute. As far as precipitation, rainfall amounts are concerned, coastal Texas around Houston, Corpus Christi, and Galveston, over here into the southern parishes of Louisiana, Lake Charles, over there to New Orleans and Baton Rouge, could be seeing around 1 to 2 inches of rainfall here this weekend. Pretty dry across the ag belt into the eastern U.S. over here toward the Poconos and the Shenandoahs. We're also looking here at the Pacific Northwest with some heavier rain in Seattle, Portland, Eugene, Medford, all the way down into far northwest California. 1 to as much as 4 inches worth of rain could fall there as we go through the weekend. Now, in the higher elevations, could be seeing some heavier snow. This is mostly confined to Canada, to British Columbia and Alberta, but we could have some snowfall amounts approaching a foot or so up here into central and northern Idaho, western Montana, western Wyoming there as we go through the weekend. Now, going into next week, this is the last week of February, Monday, February 24th through Friday, February 28th. Notice we're going to have a ridge of high pressure out across the west, and that is going to appreciate warmer temperatures. And here across the east, we're going to see more of a trough. So that's going to bring active weather, but also cooler temperatures hanging on, but moderating temperatures across the eastern U.S. Looking here at the temperature anomaly map, this paints a great picture showing a lot of orange and red on here. I do expect us to warm it up from west to east as we go through next week, with the eastern U.S. and southeast U.S. down here toward Florida leaning a little bit below normal, just because the warmer air doesn't really make it there until later on into the week. Now let's look here at the precipitation anomaly. I think next week could be an active week, especially the further north extent you go into the northern U.S. and southern Canada. All of the southern Canadian provinces from British Columbia eastward to Quebec could be pretty active, and a lot of this could fall as snow as some of the colder air does hang on here toward the surface, and a clipper storm track across the Great Lakes and upper Midwest could promise some rain and or snow showers as we go into next week. So here is Monday, February 24th. Notice a clipper system bringing some snow over the Hudson Bay, maybe into Ontario, Quebec, as far south as the Great Lakes region. We got some rain here up across the northern Rockies and the Pacific Northwest, also some heavier rain down there into South Florida. Now as we go into Tuesday, notice that continues with the active pattern, and even into Wednesday, we got another clipper bringing rain and or snow showers here. Probably more rain than snow for the Twin Cities down to Des Moines and Chicago as we go through the day on Wednesday, February 26th. Going into Thursday, February 27th, and Friday, February 28th, watching for the potential of a snowstorm here in interior sections of the Northeast. Right now, it is a low confidence forecast. It just depends on how much phasing we have with our jet streams, and then another clipper could bring some quick hitting snow as we go into the first day of March there into the Chicagoland area, Green Bay, Twin Cities, into Milwaukee, maybe Indianapolis and Cincinnati as we finish off next week. Here's the rainfall amounts as we go into next week. Remember, this is Monday, February 24th through Friday, February 28th. Notice we got some light to moderate precipitation here across the Midwest, into the Great Lakes and the Ohio Valley up into the Northeast, and then heavier moisture across the Pacific Northwest, couple more inches of rain for Seattle, down into Portland there as well. Also South Florida, Miami, down here to the Key West, could be seeing some nice dumping of rain, 2 to 4 inches, keeping an eye on that. And then on the cold side, we have some clipper systems bringing some snow where the colder air is lingering at the surface, and we could be giving us another couple of inches of snow from Minnesota into Wisconsin, northeast Iowa, northern Illinois, into Indiana there. And then the heavier snow is more into eastern Canada, so Quebec into portions there of Ontario with maybe a 2 to 4, maybe 2 to 5 inch snows as we go into next week. Early March promises winter's return as we have more cold air as we are getting into early March. Doesn't mean we can't see snow. Notice we got a big ridge up here into the Aleutian Islands and Alaska, into Yukon, Northwest Territories, and into British Columbia. That's in western Canada. That will promise warmer air up there. So if Alaska's getting warmer, you'd only know that what goes up must come down, and if it's warmer in Alaska, it's going to be colder in the lower 48, at least in the central and eastern U.S. If it's colder in Alaska, more than likely it's going to be warmer in the central and eastern U.S. So with it warmer there, we're going to stay colder in the east. And notice, you can see that on the temperature anomaly map. This is from Saturday, March 1st, all the way through the following Saturday, March 8th. We're trending below normal here across portions of the lower 48, and for most part southeastern Canada, warmer in western Canada up toward Alaska because of that ridge of high pressure. Now, with the ridge of high pressure in Alaska, that promises lower pressure here in the lower 48. We're going to be seeing some active weather. A lot of green on the map here, and this could promise more winter storms as we go into the early March timeframe, at least the first week of March. And this could promise a warm side with more heavy rain, potential severe weather near the Gulf Coast, Dixie Alley, and into the southeast, potentially as far north as the Mid-Atlantic, as those cold fronts swing through with these storms. And then we have more heavy snow, ice potential here up across the Midwest, the northern and central plains, into the Ohio Valley, Great Lakes, and the Northeast, especially interior sections of the Northeast. And we continue a hefty signal for snow across Ontario and Quebec as well. We don't want to forget the West. Yes, the Cascades, the Rockies, and the Sierras could even get some more snow as we go into early March as well. So to take away from the forecast, a warming trend is expected into the weekend, more so into next week. Winter does not go away. Colder air comes right back into the picture as we go into early March, at least the first week of March. This could bring more winter storms with heavy snow, ice, and some heavy rain with potential severe weather, especially with the heavier rain and severe weather focused more across the Gulf Coast and Dixie Alley into the southeast, potentially as far north as the Mid-Atlantic as we go into early March. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and follow along with all my detailed, accurate, and reliable weather information. We are only 702 subscribers away from 129,000. You want to help me get there today, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Like the video, give it a thumbs up, especially if you did find it very informative for you and helpful. And also share this video with friends, family, and on social media. Thank you all for watching, and have a wonderful and safe rest of your Friday out there.